Well, you've done it. If you followed this series for Module 2, the web, you've made it to Part 5, the last part in this lecture series on the Big I Internet, web, interweb, whatever you want to call it, that amazing space that sits magically in the cloud. So let's go ahead and jump into this part. Before we do, let's go ahead and give ourselves a high five, self five, if you will, for making it this far. In this section, we're going to talk about specialty search engines, when we might use specialty search engines, how to evaluate online information for legitimacy, for accuracy, for currency, etc. Gather content from online sources, and then apply information literacy standards to the information that we find and utilize from the web. So here we go. When we talk about using specialty search engines, we're not talking about using Google, folks. We're talking about using some of these search engines here. So an example would be Ask a Librarian, connects you to librarians at the Library of Congress and other libraries, which allows you to engage in online chat or submit your question in an online form. So our library at our college is not just the books that sit in the building. There is literally priceless information sitting in computers that librarians know how to find. It is their job to help you find the right information at the right time and deliver it with relevancy. And we can ask librarians to do that. You know, Wolfram Alpha, so you see that in the upper right, you know, it answers factual questions directory without listing web pages that might contain the answer, okay? So if you notice there, we can do legitimate research. We can ask questions and discover the answer, okay, without just being given it, if that makes sense. Reverse image search, so search by image and find where the image appears online. So if we have an image, we can upload the URL of the image. Again, you know, part of that, when we click on it, part of that breadcrumb is going to be the actual image. So we can put that in there and we can find out where it appears multiple times. Let me give you a great example of this. If you're single and you've utilized dating sites and you see a person that pops up and you're like, wow, you know, this person seems great. They're supposedly here in Bend. They seem almost too good to be true. They definitely could be. And what you can do is you can grab that picture of the person, copy it, go out and find out if indeed that is the person. And what I mean by that is people who are on dating sites can be taken advantage of. And there are people that will create fictitious dating sites and fictitious people, if you will, so that they can connect with you, get you to feel sorry for them, send them money, send them gift cards, do things for them, when in all actuality, it is a real person, but it's not the person you think it is. It's not the person you're looking to connect with. So definitely, this is a great tool to use. You can also use Google Images and search for images on the web and find out that Susie Smith on your Match.com profile is actually not Susie Smith. It's Rebecca Cranberry in Florida, for example. So moving on, as we evaluate online information, I would ask you to think CARS. It's really an easy four-letter acronym. We're looking for credibility, accuracy, reasonableness of the information, and support. So support being, look for reputable sources and authorities. Now, some people challenge the idea of Wikipedia because anybody can create a Wikipedia page. However, what I would ask you to do is apply CARS to the Wikipedia page. And what I mean by that is if we look at it and we look at the Wikipedia page, what makes it credible? Does it seem like the author knows what they're talking about? Who is the author of the page? Because maybe it's actually Bill Gates that authored the page about the history of Microsoft. I would say that's probably pretty accurate. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Gathering content, so follow ethical guidelines. You know, this really should go without saying, but it's a great reminder. The web makes it easy for us, frankly, to steal other people's data. A great example of that is I know for a fact that there are websites where students have uploaded my own homework assignments. And thus another student could download it, change it a little bit, and submit it as their work. That's hugely plagiaristic. It is cheating. Okay? So we want to make sure that we're doing our own work. But those sites exist, and they exist for a reason, because somebody is willing to pay to get that information, to get that research paper that they can submit as their own, to read the research paper, and then, go ahead and make it look like it was theirs. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So we do still have copywriting on photos, so we want to make sure we don't violate photos' intellectual property rights. Copyrights of published data, even on the web. Just because it's on the web doesn't mean it's ours to take. There are things called digital rights management, which limit access to proprietary rights. Eventually, things become public domain. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, a company stated that they had the rights to the birthday song. Remember? Happy birthday to you. Okay, that's enough of my singing. You get the idea. And of course, a court ruled that they didn't, that the happy birthday song was in fact public domain, that the person that wrote it no longer had the rights to it. Now, what you may not realize, and I don't remember the exact number, and I don't think it's important enough to go look up, but when you have the rights to a song, that copyright now lasts for the lifetime of the writer, plus I think it's 75 years. So their family may gain the rights. I have a friend whose father wrote a very, very popular song. I'd rather not say what the song is. And his son continues to get rights when that song is used, published, and broadcast. Fair use doctrine allows one to use a sentence or a paragraph of text without permission with citation to the original source. Okay, so we're not talking about little snippets of stuff. Now, if somebody said it, we want to make sure we quote them. We want to make sure we give them their fair rights. Creative Commons is a nonprofit organization that helps content creators keep copyright to their materials while allowing others to use, copy, or distribute it. So it may be that there is a lot of folks that create music just for the love of creating music. They then publish it on their website, and you can download and use it legally without paying for it. Okay? You just simply might fill out a form notifying them that you're going to use it and where you're going to use it. Now, they may also ask for a donation, and if you're willing to give them a donation, then you do. One of the big things, folks, with online stuff is we want to make sure that we cite the information given. Okay? Now, you'll see that although I've expanded on the content here, I've got a citation on a lot of the pages that state that this is a publisher that I'm using for this class. A lot of this content is theirs. Now, I've gone out and found other content on the web, and because this is educational, there are some common rights to education to where I can use images, I can use words, I can use things without infringing on someone's copyright. So, of course, there's different citation styles. If you're in a writing class, you know there's MLA and APA, and sub-styles of those two main. They're pretty common. Failure to cite sources, even if some of the words are changed, is called paraphrase, is plagiarism. So, just because we changed a few words doesn't mean that the source content idea doesn't still exist, and that idea is someone else's. When we take someone else's idea and make it ours, we are plagiarizing. So we want to keep that in mind as well. Okay? Don't plagiarize, don't steal other work, do your own work. That's going to be how you're going to succeed in life. All right, enough of the lecture. That's it for part 5. It's a little shorter. Hope to see you in module 3. Take care.